Hey guys, so today I'm gonna do a tutorial on a glowy summery look. And sorry, that was just my dryer. I'm setting up shop right next to my washer and dryer. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video on how to get like a summery glow using bronzer. I'm gonna be using a darker contour color today than I usually do, but my other colors are pretty much the same. So I'm gonna start out with my highlight color, which I'm gonna be using Candlelit, sorry. So I'm gonna start by doing that, and might as well just explain to you what I'm doing in case you haven't watched any of my other highlight and contour videos. So I'm gonna start out with the spots of my face that I'm not gonna be using a darker color on, so I'll just start with like the center of my forehead. I'm using the 30-second hack brush as usual. It's my favorite brush. I like both ends of it depending on what I'm using. So right now I'm using this end of my 30-second hack brush. I'll use this for under my eyes, but right now I'm just using the other end. So I'm gonna cover my whole nose, and I'm gonna go back and contour my nose in just a little bit. And you know, my husband took my kids out to shop for a tire repair kit for their bikes, and I hope that they'll be gone long enough for me to do my makeup so that I don't get interrupted, because I always hate that. Right in the middle of a video they walk in and they're loud. And anyway, so if you take a look at my skin, oh, look at my chin acne's gone. The supplement that I've been taking has been helping a ton. I can do a separate video on that if you're curious on what I've been taking. Coming from somebody who's been on almost every single drug that exists to treat acne except Accutane, and this is the only thing that has helped this much ever, and it's not tearing up my skin like Retin-A does. So, some people, whenever they take what's called their highlight color, which is basically their skin tone color, they'll do like all over, and I used to do that when I needed a really heavy coverage, but I'm just doing like a light coverage everywhere. I'll show you where I contour in just a little bit. I'm just gonna be rubbing this everywhere. I already have my eyelashes on, so that's not gonna take me long at all. So, almost done with this. And the thing with this cream makeup is the longer it sits on your skin, the softer it becomes. It kind of melts, so you can blend it more the longer it sits on your skin, so I'm not gonna worry too much about blending at the moment. So, because I'm doing a summery look, I do want my contour to be a little bit darker, so it gives me a little bit more of like a dramatic, contoured, maybe tanned look. So I'm gonna be using indigo today. And I usually use ash, because I don't really have a warm skin tone. I have more of a skin tone because I'm blonde. Ash colors usually look better, so I'm usually using this really ashy color called Ash. Don't mind my palette, it's very well used. But today I'm gonna be using a warmer, darker color called Indigo, and I'm gonna be using that one. It's a really dark one, and when the first time that I decided to use it, I was like, oh man, that's gonna be too dark and it's gonna look bad, but you know what, it didn't look bad. So, let's go on to get the contour. So as I'm contouring, I'm gonna explain to you what contouring is in case you're not familiar with it. So contouring, what it does is it helps outline the bone structure of your face, the natural bone structure of your face, so that you don't look washed out whenever you put your foundation, which would be like your highlight skin color, to use mascara terms. So I'm going right here underneath my, I'm coming out too far, but I'll fix that. So I'm going right underneath my jawbone. So if I were to suck in my cheeks, it's going right above where my cheeks sink in. I'm gonna go on the other side, do the same thing. Just like that. And like I said, I'm gonna go back and blend after I put everything where I want it. So you'll see on this side how I brought it up to the sides of my forehead. So I'm framing out the parts of my face that naturally already recede. And I'm gonna try to blend it into my hairline as I go. So not everybody comes down on the sides of their forehead. I just like the way that looks better on me. Some people just go along their hairline, and that's fine too. Play around with it, see what you like. See what frames your face the best. I like going on the sides. So there's that. And like, I went way too far with this, so I'll come back and fix that in a minute. The great thing about cream makeups is they're so easy to fix. So let me go and do my jawline. Give me a nice cut look on my jawline. I don't have a double chin, but this still helps to define that area, which I like. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. Something that I've learned though with contouring my nose, and I've heard a lot of other mascara artists say this too, is that for their nose, if you like to contour your nose but you don't want it to be super obvious, so then use a lighter, ashier color instead of a dark, dramatic color, because in other words, people are gonna be looking at your nose and like, what is wrong with your nose, woman? Like, did you take a brown crayon and just draw on your nose? So I am gonna go ahead and use ash for that part, but for now, I'm gonna go back and fix that part. Just get more candle it and just kind of, oh look, it's fixed. No big deal. Okay, so you can still see, and this is like a super dark color, but oops, super dark color, but it doesn't look super dark. To actually blend it in. So it's really dark, but look. Doesn't look too bad. And I wish my camera didn't do like this auto retouch on my skin whenever I'm doing videos. I wish it wouldn't do that, but I haven't quite figured out how to get it to stop doing that. So my skin doesn't look this perfect, just so you know. Honesty here. All right, so I've got that part done. I am gonna contour my nose with ash though, not with indigo. So I'm gonna take this end of my brush and I'm gonna pinch it so that I kind of get like this shape. I'm just gonna lightly dab it in there. And then I go straight up and down one side of my nose, and I go all the way up into my brow so you can see that line right there. See it? Just like that. There's one side. This is so your nose doesn't look washed out after you've covered it up with the highlight. Uh-oh, I hear doors shutting outside. I hope my kids aren't home. Okay. And the trick with contouring your nose too is you want to try to get these lines as close together as you can while still having space of the lighter color in between. Okay. See that? And I do a little bit under my lip. Give my lip like a plumper effect. If it looks like a shadow, it'll make whatever it is above it look plumper. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right. So I've got all that on. Once in a while, if I want to, if I really want to make my face look super chiseled, super contoured, and super highlighted, I'll go in with an even lighter color right here. This one's linen, and it's lighter than my skin tone. And I'm just gonna dab a little bit more under my eye. And I don't always do this, it's just with this particular look, I like the way it looks. Or I give it even that lighter extra pop underneath. I'm gonna put on my inner corners. Okay. See that? I think it looks better using an even lighter color than my skin tone under my eye. Okay. There we go. And they're here. Hold up one second. Okay, continuing on. Doing the lighter color under my eye. Oops, that was a little bit too much. That's okay, I'll blend it better. I try to get it on the inner corners of my eye, so I've got to go above my eyelash. Like that. Around. Okay. Bring it down a little bit on the sides of my nose to make the nose contour look fine. So I've got my highlight, I've got my contour done. Next thing I'm gonna do, excuse the noise, sorry. I usually use black cherry for my blush, but today I'm gonna be using a color called Ruby. So I'm gonna be using this one right here. I know it looks intense, but I think it looks great on my skin. So I'm just gonna use my finger to dab it on. Just like that, above my contour line. And I'm gonna let it sit on my skin for a minute to let it kind of like melt and soften so it's easier to blend. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that on there for just a second. Okay, I think I'm gonna do my eyeshadow while I'm letting the blush soften on my skin. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail as far as how I'm doing my eyes. Just use whatever you got. I use a light color for all over. Just like this. Maybe just like a skin tone color. My dog is right here next to me, so you might hear her. And I'm gonna go with a little bit of a darker color and do my crease. Since I have hooded eyes, I like to kind of make more of a straight line, back and forth, like that. Because I have that bone right there. And it kind of like, if I do it straight into my crease and I open my eyes, you won't be able to see it. You can even see it now, but the lighting is almost too bright where you can't quite pick up all the colors. You can see that one. I'm not going super dramatic with my eyebrow color. I mean eyebrow colors? Eyeshadow colors. This is more gonna be like a glowy, iridescent look. A warm, sun-kissed look. I'll do my brows too, and then I'll go back and blend my blush. So I still use Ash as a brow filler because it matches my natural hair color pretty good. My natural hair color, it is blonde, but it's an ashy blonde, and so like this part was lightened, but not much. So Ash is a great color for brow filler if you are a blonde or a light complected person with a cooler tone instead of a warm tone. And I'm not much of a brow girl. I don't get OCD about my brows. I just kind of, I honestly don't have much brows to work with anyway, and I've never been a tweezer either. But I work with what I got. I'm just using this little angle brush. This is not a mascara brush. This is an ELF brush. I don't remember what kind of brush it's called. I'm not seeing anything written on it, but just a small angled brush. Works pretty good. I have like no hair past the arch on my brows, so I kind of just have to improvise and pretend like I do. Kind of silly, so it sucks when it rubs off because I don't look like I don't have any eyebrows. My other brow. It's amazing how much money women pay to get their brows done, but not an expense I can justify myself. I just use makeup instead. Or I don't do anything at all. Alright. Now, blending the blush. And the great thing about blush, using like a cream blush too, is if you've used cream everything else, it's it's really easy to go back and fix if you feel like you are overwhelmed with blush. No big deal. So this is gonna kind of give me like a, whew, I'm hot, I've been out in the sun look. But once I put on my illuminator on my cheekbone, you'll see that it kind of like softens and brings it all together. So got a little bit more candle it there. I feel like I brought it in too far. See, look, an easy fix. There you go. Okay. Now, whenever I use like a shimmery type bronzer, I still actually use my my illuminator first, even though the bronzer that I'm using will have shimmer in it too. But I still go back and I use my illuminator. So I'm going to be using Pearl again today, my usual one, and I'm going to be placing it on the usual spots right here, right on that bone that goes right under your eye socket. Okay. See how it kind of softens that blush? And you don't want to use something that's like super glittery whenever you're highlighting that area. Well, I say highlight, it's not really highlight. Other brands of makeup call it a highlight, but in mascara, the skin tone is called highlight. And I'm doing it on my Cupid's bow there, and then on the tip of my nose. You learn how you like doing it, the more you play around with it. So it just causes a reflective effect. So it brings out some of the parts of your face that you want to bring forward. Opposite of contouring, where you want it to recede, it brings stuff forward. Right? So now that we've got that, now that my brow color has been on my brows for a couple minutes, I just kind of go back and use this end of my brush to just sort of blend it so I don't have obvious brush stroke marks on my brows. Alright, so now the main touch with doing this summery look is bronzer. And the thing that you want to keep in mind with bronzer is, why are you using bronzer in the first place? Because the reason that you're using it determines where you put it. What a bronzer is for is it gives your face either like a sun-kissed look, some people say like a tanned look. To me, I don't really tan, so I naturally have a pinker color if I've been out in the sun. So you want to put it on the spots where your face normally catches most of the sun. And so for most people, that's across your forehead, and then it's across this part here. Some people don't go across their nose. I did a little bit yesterday and I loved how it wound up looking. So I'm going to be using a powder bronzer, and I'm going to be using this brush here, this mascara brush. And I'm going to be using the bigger end to put it on. And so I'm going to start going in like a C shape around my eye that way. So starting at the middle of my forehead, coming around that way. Might be a little bit harder to catch on. Get out! My husband's interrupting. Okay, so you notice I'm not going on this part of my forehead. I'm going across the top along my hairline. See how it's adding a shine there? It's kind of giving that tanned look. And then same on this side. Basically like going in a C shape on both sides. Okay, see that? I am gonna do a little bit across here onto my nose. Just lightly, I'm not gonna overwhelm it. So, now I look like I've been out in the sun. But I haven't. So that's pretty much it. I am gonna go back and highlight my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use a lighter color than the color that I used for all over. I'm gonna highlight just certain spots of my eyelid. So I do the center of my eyelid right by my lash line. There. Okay. And I do the inner corner. And you can use like an iridescent color here where it reflects light, or you can just use a lighter color than you've used anywhere else on your eye. So I do under my brow there, okay, inner corner of my eye, center of my eyelid above my lash, and for an extra pop, which I've started doing lately, so I dab a little bit underneath my bottom lash line. See, I don't usually put mascara on my bottom lash line because I feel like it drags my eyes down, and because I have the hooded eyes here, everything I have to do with my makeup needs to counteract like the droopy look. I don't know, it's hard to explain unless you have hooded eyebrows and you understand what I'm talking about. Oops, I just got some eyeshadow on my lash. Oopsie. There, inner corner. Hope you can see that with the lighting on my camera. I'm gonna tight line my eyeliner too along my top lash line. So I'm gonna be using this L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Smoldering Eyeliner right here. It's a big fat one which I like using. Let me explain what tight lining is. Tight lining is whenever you go along, instead of on the top of your skin, you go on the inner lining along your eyeball. Okay, so the top one, I've learned a trick, and it took me forever to learn this. So I start on the outer corner, and I look in that direction when I'm doing my left eye. That way. So it's like putting on eyeliner without it being super obvious. See, there is a bit of a difference there, and as I blink, you can see a little bit coming onto my bottom lash. I'm gonna look that direction. Takes a lot of practice, but once you get it, it's a breeze. There we go. Just gonna put a little bit of lip balm on. And then I'm gonna use a color on my lips called Nude. And I like it because it's not super pigmented. Doesn't pop out, but it's got a nice natural plump look to it. So I'm just putting on some lip balm, and then I'll put my lip color on. Whoops. Okay, so I used Ruby for my cheeks. I'm gonna use Nude. Is that Nude? Let me double check, hold on. Yeah. Nude, sure enough, yep. Dab a little bit on. Pretty close to my natural lip color, but okay, there we go. So that's my summery glow look. I'm too lazy to do my hair. Oh, there's just no point. I have to wash my hair way too often this week with all my training and stuff, so I'm not gonna do my hair. But if you want to look like summery glow, but you just have not had the luxury to go to the beach or the pool or anywhere, which would be me, but you still want to look summery and warm and just glowy, that's the look that I came up with that I've been using all week, and I really like it. So let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time. Bye.